Leviticus chapter 15. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness, his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Every bed whereupon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean, and everything whereupon he sitteth shall be unclean. And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat, that hath the issue, shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that touches the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean even until the even. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever he toucheth that hath the issue, and hath not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which hath the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahweh unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for the sin offering, and the other for the burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the even. And every garment and every skin whereupon the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the even. The woman also with whom man shall lie with the seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the even. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whatsoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed, or on anything wherein she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereupon he lieth shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days, out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereupon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean, as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them to the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall you separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth forth from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue of the man and of the woman, and of him that lieth with her, that is unclean. That concludes Leviticus chapter 15. The laws, rules about, an issue of whether it's from a festering sore or from her period, as we call it these days, or the man who ejaculates. All these are covered in this particular article about the issue and uncleanness and washing his body and washing their clothes, and washing their beds, I'm sure, and washing off stools or whatever they sat on. It didn't particularly say anything about cleansing the garments or the linens or anything like that, but I'm sure it involved a lot of washing because they wash everything else. And either that or they burned it. I can't see a woman burning it or bending every month because she spends 8 days a month when she's having a menses every month. That would be impractical, especially those days. Washing it would be much more practical and to be clean in the evening or at nighttime. At the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, you start a new day in the evening. So it's your cleanliness lasts through sundown, at which time you're clean again. On part of it, and on the other part, it's after so many days, and after a certain issue, and after going before the priest with sacrifices, and those things also are part of it. And it's all explained just as we read it. Thank you for viewing. What a complicated life it would have been to be a Jew in those days, a Hebrew. We don't have that because we don't have the temple of the congregation. I would imagine that the Hebrews have worked out some rules with their groups. I don't know what to call it. I'm sure the Hebrews have worked out something for doing the cleanness and the uncleaning and the washing and everything. They follow mostly the Mosaic rules, I'm sure, except for the part about the turtle doves or the 2 young pigeons, because they don't have a tabernacle to sacrifice them to, an altar to sacrifice the blood on. So, having said that, let me get back to the meat of business. Thank you for viewing, for coming by to watch me stumble over these words and over the understanding of it. The Holy Spirit does a much better job with it than I do. And I'm thankful that we have the Holy Spirit as a guide in these matters. No fun when the hair pulls from the garment. That is untangled. So, thank you again. Like, share, comment, subscribe, tuck in the prayer requests in the comments if you're a mind to. And by all means, in the subscription, realize you've joined a tribe of human beings. White, yellow, green, red, purple, orange, whatever color you may be. Pray for your leaders, for those that have rule over you. Let them go good with you and go good with others. Be at peace wherein it is possible, one with another. Go lie to one another. All those things are important. And they're all covered under these texts as well. So, till we meet again, God bless, and bless God.